What it is, everybody, it's your boy Richie the Monster, aka Monster Big Boss. And you already know it's Sports Vibes Podcast where you know the vibes. Listen, I know. Rich, where you been at the last couple weeks? Again, man. This full-time student thing, about to graduate, plus doing all the content creation, plus the work, it is taxing on a person, you feel me? But again, that's no excuse. Why? Because sports is happening, so you deserve for Richie the Monster, aka Monster Big Boss, to give you Sports Vibes Podcast, and that's what I'm here doing. You feel me? Anyways, listen, we got some big NBA news to get into. You feel me? Some stuff happening up in Boston. We gonna get into all of that. Of course, we gotta talk about college football. And week 4 that just passed, I don't even want to talk about it. I'm about to cry. You see, I'm about to cry. So we gonna jump into that, and then of course we gonna finish with the King of Kings, the NFL, man. Crazy week in week 3 of the NFL, man. You know what I'm saying? Listen, shout out to my boys. You already know what we did. We gonna jump into that. First and foremost, let's get the NBA news out the way, because technically it still is the NBA offseason. If I'm not mistaken, I think preseason for the NBA starts. Hold on, let me get my stuff right, because I don't wanna tell you a lie. I do not want to tell you a lie. The 30th, September 30th, is a kickoff of preseason basketball. You feel me? Oh my goodness, I can't wait. I cannot wait for the NBA to come back. Y'all already know how much I rock with the NBA and stuff like that. But we got to get into some more serious news. The Boston Celtics head coach, Ime Udoka, has been suspended for an entire year for the 2022-2023 NBA season. He is suspended. His salary, from everything that I've read and that's been reported, will be reduced to about 50%. And the reason he got suspended was because Ime Udoka had a consensual, intimate relationship with a Boston Celtics female staff member. Now, let's kind of get into the mechanics of this, right? Again, from everything that was reported, everything was consensual between these two adults, but obviously the relationship is a violation of employee conduct policy, which we understand. Now, my thinking, right? This was my thinking on the subject. Why would the Boston Celtics make this public? That's number one, right? Because from everything we've heard, they launched their own investigation. They used a private law firm to conduct a thorough investigation into the matter. And it seems that the investigation originated because the woman who was involved in this consensual relationship said that there was a point in time over the summer that Ime Udoka made unwanted comments towards her, said something. Now, again, in my experience and everything that I've, been through in the corporate world and things even back when I was in the military and stuff like that, these things happen all the time. Does that make it right? Of course not. No, wrong is wrong, because supposedly the woman was married, and not only was she married to a high-ranking Celtics official. So, there's that can of worms. Ime Udoka had his own personal situation off the court. As you know, him and celebrity Nia Long have been involved with each other for about over the last decade. They have a child together as well. So, they were involved. Again, we don't know the statute of limitations to their relationship. We don't know what the ins and outs were, but, to each his own. the public perception is gonna look at it differently. But anyways, so when these type of things happen or they're brought to the light and things, usually that's a HR issue. That's an internal issue, and usually is handled internally. Again, to me, it's like if the Boston Celtics wanted to, let's say they would have fired him, he would have resigned, or let's just say that they suspended him. They could have just let us speculate, let the media speculate, let fans let everybody in the basketball world speculate, and not said anything. But they made it public, like really public. So then my next question is that when it comes to relationships like this or consensual relationships, is like it seems as if like Ime Udoka was the only one that violated the conduct policy. It seems that there was another person involved. Did they get reprimanded as well? Did they, again, we don't know because the Boston Celtics have not disclosed that information. Now what I'm gonna assume is that they didn't make her information public because they did, they're gonna class it as for her protection because, Ime Udoka in his first year just took the Boston Celtics to the NBA Finals. I mean, the city of Boston likes Ime Udoka. You know what I mean? Like, if you're a Boston Celtics fan, you like this man. You feel me? So, the woman, I'm assuming if her face was to come to pasture or people were to find out her name, then, she would probably receive death threats and probably get harassed. I mean, you guys know how crazy sports fan is, and again, that's not fair. But also too, it's not necessarily fair to the women of the Boston Celtics organization who got unfairly dragged into the situation. I mean, I don't know if you guys are rampant on Twitter or how deep you are into NBA Twitter, but boy, when I tell you there was at least 5-6 different women's pictures, names, like videos of them, like just around the Celtics organization, talking about this is who Ime Udoka slept with and this and that, just got unfairly maligned, in the NBA world, and it wasn't fair. And when Brad Stevens, president of basketball operations at the Celtics, and I think Wick Grossbeck is the owner, the CEO of the Celtics as well. They had a press conference, and Brad Stevens was asked about that, like, what about the women that were unfairly maligned? And he said, he can't really control Twitter bullshit, which is the words that he used. And, so it's just like, they get dragged into it. At the end of the day, right? Again, these type of things happen all the time. No matter where you go, what job, what profession, what career you choose, whatever. If you are in a setting where people, it's not even just men and women, just people in general. When people are working together, you got to think, man. Listen, there's 82 games in NBA season. You're on the road for 41 of those games. Okay? On the road. Think about that. The closest NBA team to Boston is what? New York? Maybe New York? Philly? Maybe? And even that's an hour flight. You know what I mean? So you just got to think about all the time spent together, late nights, early mornings. Again, I'm not saying that it's right. Hear me out. I'm not saying that it's right. What I'm saying is that these things happen. And when these things happen, they should be handled accordingly. And my thing is, I don't understand why the Boston Celtics had to make this public. To me, it seems as if maybe from the other side, the woman's side, maybe she was going to come forward and say something, or say that there was something else and this is a preventative measure from the Celtics. Again, I don't know why you would make it public. And even then, if it's so egregious, because I just don't think Ime Udoka should have been suspended for the entire year. I mean, I think a hefty fine would have been in play, you know, a hefty fine. Even if you were gonna suspend him, you know, you suspend him for maybe the first quarter of the season, like the first 15 games or something like that. You know, something, you know, okay, it's not as significant, but it is still significant to where you'll get the message across. Because, again, punishment is supposed to be seen as a deterrent to prevent other people within the organizations to not invoke the same behavior. Put it like that. Like they won't do the same things. So okay, fine, but it's just a year suspension, and not only that, the Boston Celtics know what they're doing. Let's be honest. Like let's be all the way real. If Ime Udoka was to resign, or the Celtics were to fire him, or any of that, to where he is no longer an employee of the Boston Celtics, Ime Udoka would have had a job in 30 seconds. Every NBA team besides the Miami Heat and probably the Golden State Warriors would have called Ime Udoka. I don't care what you say. I don't care how much you like your head coach. Ime Udoka would have had a job at least a phone call within the first 30 seconds. His agent would still be getting calls. You feel me? Like college teams probably would have called him. Like to me, that's how spectacular of a coach that he's shown that he's been. You know, again, I know some people malign him for getting outcoached in the NBA Finals, but you got outcoached by Steve Kerr. I mean, there's no shame in that. So that's another thing. You know, why the year-long suspension? Why retain his rights? Why, you know, if it was so egregious and so, you know, just beyond the pale of what he did, let the man go. Fire him. You know, fire him, pay him half his salary, and send him on his way. Because the Boston Celtics, no, they're not dumb. Let's be real. Let's be all the way real. At the end of the day, they know what they have in Boston, and they have a championship team. I mean, my preseason pick to win the Eastern Conference is the Boston Celtics. I think they're going to have the most complete team because I said it last year. I preached it last year. The only reason the Boston Celtics did not win the NBA Finals, now I know people will look to the turnovers, but they did not have a true point guard to run that offense. I love Marcus Smart. I love how he plays, but Marcus Smart is not a true point guard. He is a exceptional, probably the best 3-and-D player in the NBA that happens to play the point guard position, okay? When it comes to the offensive side of the ball, him running an offense, facilitating the offense, setting up, putting Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum into positions to score the ball or, you know, pick and roll, pick and pop, all of that stuff. That's not Marcus Smart's forte, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you get Malcolm Brogdon, especially for a bag of peanuts. I mean, the Celtics essentially gave up nothing to get Malcolm Brogdon, which is why it boggles me that, I mean, personally, I don't like the Los Angeles Lakers, so I mean, I wouldn't care if a team helped them or not, but you gave up Malcolm Brogdon, who's arguably your best player since Sabonis left. I mean, you traded Sabonis to Sacramento. You know, obviously Halliburton is now your star of the future. You got Malcolm Brogdon. I mean, I don't understand why the Pacers are playing hardball with the Lakers, you know, with Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. I mean, I know they want those 2 picks, but damn, I mean, you gave up Malcolm Brogdon for a bag of peanuts, but now you want, you know, 2 first-round picks from the Lakers for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. But hey, look, I don't run an NBA franchise, so they're allowed to do whatever it is that they want. But the Celtics getting Malcolm Brogdon, to me, I think that was probably arguably the best move of the offseason. I mean, DeJounte Murray to the Atlanta Falcons is a close second, but to me, that is the best move. That really puts Boston in a different type of category, especially if they put, I mean, Malcolm Brogdon is a 50, 40, 90 guy, so you don't have to necessarily worry about him on the offensive side of the ball. Now, granted, he's not Marcus Smart on the defensive end, but if he can buy in and play some defense, I mean, honestly, the Celtics, that defensive core, I mean, that starting five, you can have Malcolm Brogdon, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Al Horford on the floor at the same time. Or if you want to bring Horford off the bench and have Williams start, I mean, that, woo. Listen, they gonna be a nasty 2K. They're a nasty 2K squad. You know, the Celtics got a nasty squad, nasty starting five, and you still got Williams coming off the bench. You could have Horford come off the bench, run that second unit. I mean, the Celtics are set up nice, set up really nice. So this just kind of, throws a fork in that plan. So just again, I just want to say we don't have all the information. That's what it is at the end of the day. We don't have all the information. But Ime Udoka again has been suspended for the entire 2022-2023 season. He said he accepted the punishment. He released a statement, apologizing to his family, city of Boston, the fans, everything, and that he accepts it. And he did. The Celtics have said they don't know the future of Ime Udoka. They don't know what is what his future is. I mean, me personally, I just think he's probably coached his last game in Boston. The reason I say that is because with these type of situations, you just don't want it to turn into something else, like, any type of, like, when the word unwanted is in a report and things of that nature, it's hard to come back from those type of things, especially with the climate that we're in now, with the Me Too movement and things of that nature, like, people stepping up and speaking out and that truth, and it's just it's very hard to come back from that. So I do think Ime Udoka has coached his last game in Boston. Maybe I'm wrong. We would love to get him in Detroit. Sorry, Dwayne Casey. But that's just what it is. Moving forward, though, Boston Celtics assistant coach Joe Mazzulla will take over as the interim head coach for the Boston Celtics. Now, what I will say is, obviously, depending on how the Celtics do this year. I mean, if the Celtics win a championship with Joe Mazzulla at the helm, then I really think Ime Udoka is out. In all honesty, like that was just me. That's what I'm thinking. But if they have a good season, and let's say the Celtics change Mazzulla from interim to head coach, then obviously Udoka's going to be out. So we'll see what happens. But Joe Mazzulla, again, longtime assistant. He did coach the Celtics Summer League team last year. He played at West Virginia. He also coached D2 at Fairmont State. Shout out to Fairmont State. My cousin went there. So, that's what's happening with the Celtics. So, listen, again, we wish the best for all parties involved, man. That's what it is. All right. So, enough about that NBA news, man. Let's jump straight into... I don't even want to talk about college football this past week, man. Yes, I know. I'm sad. Okay? My Hurricanes lost to Middle Tennessee State. All right? I almost cursed. On here. Yes, I know exactly what I meant. We lost to Middle Tennessee State 45-31. And it wasn't, to tell you the truth, it wasn't even close. We should have got blown out by even more. It was literally like the last quarter. Middle Tennessee State was up multiple scores, playing very off, letting the Hurricanes get whatever. It wasn't a close game at all. Our offense couldn't generate any type of rhythm, anything like that. Our receivers wasn't into it. Van Dyke was not himself. I don't know, and it seems like it's this pattern every year with the Hurricanes, right? We're nationally ranked. We beat up on some pretty terrible schools. Maybe the first couple games. Then our first game that we actually play an opponent and we lose. It's like our season just goes to complete shit the rest of the way down. Like, okay, we lost to Texas A&M last week. I got it. They're a viable opponent. They had the number one recruiting class in college football last year. They're a good team. Okay, they play in the SEC. Got some big boys down there. They're a good team. Okay, we lose to them. At least we were competitive. We were competitive. We just didn't roll over and let them put up 75 on us like teams be doing. Ohio State be putting up 70 on everybody. It's ridiculous. But we didn't lay down. Okay, I'm fine with that. Okay, I'm good with that. Middle Tennessee State? Come on now. What is, and I just don't understand. We make all this hoopla about how we stole Cristobal from Oregon and he's the offensive wizard and is gonna have this West Coast pro style offense just running and gunning up and down the field. Where is it? I haven't seen it. I haven't seen anything. Okay? And then our OC, if Cristobal was brought in to be that offensive guy, then let him call the plays. Let him call the plays. It wouldn't be the first time a head coach also calls plays. We see that all the time. Sean McVay calls plays. You don't even know who the Rams offensive coordinator is because Sean Payton does that. I mean, excuse me, not Sean Payton. I'm sorry. Sean McVay does that. So, what are we doing here? You never heard about the Saints OC because Sean Payton used to call plays. Now, Kansas City, I mean, me personally, I think, it's a combination of Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid, but, it works. Put it like that. It works. You feel me? Like, I can't explain it. So, I just don't understand. If Cristobal was brought in to be that guy, let him call the plays. Okay, let him run the offense. I know he's the head coach. He has to deal with everything. But that was his specialty. So let him do it. Middle Tennessee State, I'm like, the quarterback threw for 403 yards. Like, literally making our defensive look just terrible. I mean, it was bad. It was really bad, in all honesty. It was really bad. And I, for one, am just, I don't want to say I'm done with the Hurricanes because technically, we could technically still win the ACC, okay? We can technically still win the ACC, but I just don't know how that happened, how that's even going to happen. We still got to play North Carolina, Clemson, and we got to play Pitt and Virginia Tech. Are we going to run the table? We could, but from what I've seen, I'm very skeptical, okay? And y'all know I love the Hurricanes. The U, baby. It's all about the U. I'm just like, come on, man. Middle Tennessee State. I can't even say the school name. No disrespect to them. I can't even say the school name. That's how upset I am. But I'm not going to hark on them too much. Miami, get it together. Get y'all shit together, man. I'm so serious. Because I'm sick and tired of every single year with y'all. We got so much promise. And then by week 5, our season is completely done. Get it together, man. Stop playing. Get it together. But we'll just run off, we'll run off some of the scores from last week. Georgia smacking Kent State 39-22. We knew that was going to happen. Vanderbilt only scored 3 against Bama. Bama put up 55 on them. Wow, that's crazy. Ohio State smashed Wisconsin 52-21. Very close game between Michigan and Maryland. I was actually surprised. I was kind of flipping back and forth on that Saturday. Michigan only won by a score, but 34-27 they beat Maryland. So, shout out to Michigan. They're still undefeated. Clemson, they had a close one with Wake Forest, 51-45. That was a good game. That was a really good game. And I'm actually interested in that Wake Forest Florida State game. I think Florida State is ranked now. They're 4-0. Just my luck. The Florida State they jump into being ranked, and we fall out because we lose to oof. I don't even want to say it. Kansas State they had the upset. They beat number 6 Oklahoma. That was a crazy game. That was a crazy game. I was again flipping back and forth, and I'm looking at it right now. Dylan Gabriel of Oklahoma threw for 333 yards and 4 TDs. Wow, yeah, 4 TDs and a loss. Kent State. Oh, okay. Adrian Martinez, the quarterback, he threw for a touchdown and he ran for 4. Oh, that man was balling. He was balling. Yeah, Oklahoma, they, whew, they lost. I mean, ooh, that's tough, man. Kent State, that is tough. All right, on to the next. USC, close one with Oregon State. Only put up 17 points. I mean, that high-flying Lincoln Riley offense just, I guess they couldn't do it against the Beavers, man. Shout out to my boy Dilly. Biggest Oregon State fan I know. Biggest Oregon State fan I know. But USC, they squeaked out a win, 17-14. They beat Oregon State. Kentucky beat Northern Illinois 31-23. Texas A&M Arkansas, really good game. Texas A&M won 23-21. That was a really good game. I mean, Arkansas, they looking better than the usual Arkansas. I know a lot of years Arkansas, they come out the gate smoking, and we like, oh, I mean, they play arguably the toughest schedule in college football every single year. So we'll give them that. But they look promising this year. I mean, yeah, they're 3-1. I think they're playing Bama next week, if I'm not mistaken. That's going to be a good game. But Arkansas, they lost to Texas A&M 21-23, man. Forget Texas A&M. Tennessee with the win over Florida. I know my boy. Shout out to my boy Falcon, man. He was happy. He was Snapchatting me. He was texting me. He called me. Man, he was so happy when they beat Florida, because Florida been beating up on Tennessee these last couple of years. So I know Tennessee, they happy to get that revenge, man. Tennessee 4-0, man. I'm pretty sure they're gonna get in the top 10. Especially with Oklahoma losing to Kent State. I think Oklahoma will probably drop out the top 10. I think Tennessee's going to get there, man. Listen, Tennessee, y'all looking good. I like what I'm seeing from Tennessee. NC State smashed UConn 41-10. Utah beat Arizona State 34-13. Penn State smashed Central Michigan 33-14. Oregon, close one. They beat Washington State 44-41. Woof. That was a close game. I didn't get to see that one. I might have to go back and watch the highlights. But close game for them. Another close game, Ole Miss and Tulsa. Okay? 35-27. They only beat them by 1 score. Shouts out to Tulsa. Look at y'all. Y'all got some fight in y'all after all, okay? Baylor beat Iowa State 31-24. That was a close one, Baylor. Washington smashed Stanford 40-22. BYU beat Wyoming 38-24. Texas Tech beat Texas. Wow, Texas. Y'all finally get ranked. Y'all looking good. Y'all only lost to Bama by 1 point. Y'all lose to Texas Tech. Don't even have Patrick Mahomes. Like, how you lose to Texas Tech? Like, come on. Texas lost 34-37. Oof. I don't feel so bad. Texas lost. I don't feel as bad. You know what I mean? And then Pittsburgh smashed Rhode Island. You feel me? Pittsburgh smashed Rhode Island. Shout out to my homegirl, man, Chandy, man. She went to Rhode Island. I texted her too. I was like, yo, Pitt is about to wash your school. Like, I mean, it wasn't that bad though. They only put up 45 on them. Maybe they called the dogs off. I don't know. I ain't watched the game, but so now heading into week 5 of the college football season, we got BYU taking on Utah State, Washington versus UCLA, Michigan versus Iowa. It's going to be a good game. Kentucky versus Ole Miss. I got some bread on this one. All right, Kentucky, they number 7 in the nation right now. Ole Miss number 14. So, oof. Okay, I think that's going to be a good game. I think I got Kentucky in that one. If I'm not mistaken, I put some bread on that one. Oklahoma, they dropped to number 18. They'll be taking on TCU. TCU is undefeated, man. Listen, Oklahoma, don't sleep on TCU. Do not sleep on TCU, okay? They might, you know what I'm saying, they might get you too. Minnesota's taking on Purdue. Texas Tech taking on Kansas State. Okay, okay, I see you. Oregon State is battling Utah. Again, Alabama, Arkansas. I think is going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be a really good game. Rutgers versus Ohio State. Number 9, Oklahoma State versus number 16, Baylor. That should be a good game. Definitely, nice Big 12 matchup. Let's see. Northwestern is taking on Penn State. Now this Wake Forest versus Florida State. I want Wake Forest to put 50 on Florida State. I want them to put 50 on them. Even though Florida State is unbeaten. I mean, we'll see what happens. But Wake Forest, please beat Florida State. Y'all know I hate Florida State. Then we got Texas A&M taking on Mississippi State. I got some bread on that one as well. My boy from Mississippi, he took both Mississippi teams. I'm like, oh, you doing it like that? You doing it like that? Then we got NC State is taking on Clemson. That should be a good game in the ACC. Number 1, Georgia, they taking on Missouri. They're going to smash Missouri. They're going to kill Missouri. Georgia Tech, who's unranked, they're taking on Pitt. And Georgia Tech fired their AD and their head coach. They're 1-3 right now. But their losses have just been terrible. Like, not even competitive at all. They getting blown out. Let me see Georgia Tech. They got blown out one game. Yeah. So they lost to Clemson first week 41-10. Then they beat Western Carolina 35-17. Then they lost to Ole Miss 42-0. And then they lost to UCF 27-10. Yeah, Georgia Tech, I don't know what's up with y'all. Do we play Georgia Tech? Hopefully, we need a game where we could just put points on somebody. That's what we need. We need a game where that happens. Number 6, USC, they taking on Arizona State. They're gonna kill them. They're gonna destroy them. And Oregon plays Stanford. Oregon probably gonna kill Stanford. Stanford ain't been nothing since Christian McCaffrey left. So, it is what it is. You feel me? It is what it is. But, and then, if I'm not mistaken, I think, let me see. Aren't we playing? Who we play? Are we on a bye? Let me see. Okay. Yeah, we on a bye. Okay. So we on a bye this week, and then next week we play North Carolina. So I just had to make sure. But listen, college football always so unpredictable. You know what I'm saying? Probably one of the most unpredictable sports that we have. College football. It's like any given Saturday. I know they say like any given Sunday or any given whatever day because, any team can beat any team. But in college football, it's just so crazy. Upsets every week. That's why we love it. That's why we love college football, man. I love college football. Do you love college football? So, yeah, man, again, that's what's up with college football. Now, obviously, we're going to transition to the king of the kings, the NFL. So I just want to put it out there, not even going to sugarcoat it. My boys, you see what we did to Justin Herbert. I know y'all saw it, okay? I know y'all saw what we did. My Jags went to SoFi, went to LA, and put up 38 on the Chargers, which wasn't good for me because I had the Chargers defense in a lot of my fantasy leagues. Man, oh my goodness. Listen, I'm so proud of the Jags. Trevor Lawrence looked good. Now, I will say, obviously Justin Herbert was compromised, with the rib injury against Kansas City on Thursday Night Football last week. I don't know why, in my honest opinion, I get it. I understand every game, especially for the AFC West, every game is just as important. You know what I'm saying? Every game is important. Every, everything is important for the AFC West. But I would have probably sat Justin Herbert for this game. Just to give him some time, give him a week, let those ribs, heal. just something. I mean, to throw him out there. I mean, Trevor Lawrence had a great game, 28 of 39 for 262, three touchdowns. Ooh. Uh, Justin Herbert was 25 of 45 for 297, had a pick and an INT. I mean, he just looked hobbled. He looked hobbled. Chargers offense couldn't really get a lot going, and then again the defense was just the defense did not let. I think the defense let the Chargers down. I mean, even if you would have held, the Jags to like 17 or something, I mean, it would have been, what I'm saying, it would have been a lot closer game. But Trevor was throwing the ball all over the place. I mean, Zay Jones had a touchdown, Christian Kirk had a touchdown, Marvin Jones had a touchdown, just slinging the rock all over the place in the defense. And our defense really stepped up, man. Our defense really stepped up. They was all over the field, man. They was all over the field. The Chargers offense couldn't really get going. And I'm just so happy because I won 2 bets this past week. You feel me? All right. I'm a chronic gambler. But I won 2 bets. You feel me? Shouts out to my boy. My boy, he's a Chargers fan. He's a Chargers fan, and he was hot. He was cussing up a storm in the group chat. You feel me? Cussing up a storm. But we moved to 2-1. You feel me? First place in the division. Okay. And if you want to be technical, we tied for second place in the AFC. The only team that got a better record than us in the AFC is the Dolphins, man. Dolphins still undefeated. So we're gonna get into that crazy game that them and the Bills had. But off my Jags, man, you know what I'm saying? The winners. Okay. But the kickoff week 3, we had the Steelers and we had the Browns on Thursday Night Football. Steelers it's time, man. Listen, it's time. Mike Tomlin, stop messing around, yo. Stop messing around. Put your man in there. You feel me? Put your man in there. Put him in there. Put Pickett in there, and just ride with your rookie. He is the future of the franchise. Mason Rudolph is not the future. He's not even a stopgap right now. He's not even playing like that. He's not playing like a bridge quarterback at all. He's playing terrible. And how he got that C on his chest, I don't understand. But look like they give captain anybody nowadays, in my opinion. I remember when captain used to mean something, but that's neither here nor there. Mason Rudolph is terrible. He's trash. You see why he's been a backup for the last couple years in Buffalo, because he is not that good of a quarterback, okay? That is only thing Mitchell Trubisky is good for is clean up and I know. But Rich, he took the Bears to the playoffs twice. Yeah, and did nothing. That Bears defense was superb, top 5 in the league. And you had Montgomery and Cohen. You feel me? 1-2 punch, like the speedster, and then you had the power back. Like that's what happened. I mean, you also had didn't they have who else did they have? What was the receiver they had? Was it Allen Robinson? Allen Robinson was in Chicago, right? That was their number 1 receiver, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, Allen Robinson. I mean, I think Jimmy Graham was there for a couple years. Like, the Bears had a nice squad. The Bears had a nice squad. So, of course, yeah, they made the playoffs. Like, but that means nothing. All right? You're wasting this great Steelers defense. And at the end of the day, if you're going to lose, right, let's be honest. Obviously, the Steelers' offense is not, but they have viable weapons. Claypool. They got what's my boy's name? Claypool. I can't pronounce the tight end's name. I cannot pronounce the tight end's name. He got a fire last name though. He got a fire last name. Hold on. I'm gonna pull it up because now I'm upset that I can't. But yeah, so you got Deontay Johnson. You got Freiermuth. What's his name? Pat Freiermuth. The tight end. He's nice. You know what I'm saying? You got George Pickens. You got Chase Claypool. You got some weapons, and then you got Najee Harris running the ball out the backfield. The Steelers are defense. You might as well put the rookie in. Let him get some experience. And I understand Mike Tomlin is, never had a losing season. Is big on Steeler, pride, whatever. Is we play and all this stuff. Listen, all that shit is going out the window because you're gonna mess around and you're gonna be last in your division and you're gonna miss the playoffs and you're gonna finally have a losing season. So again, if you throw the rookie in there, if you have the losing season or if you guys are losing, it's fine. He's a rookie quarterback. Again, Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow and those guys, they've kind of messed it up for young quarterbacks because now everybody's is expected to go get to the Super Bowl in their rookie or their second year, which it doesn't happen like that. Sometimes it don't happen like that. You gotta build that up, And the Steelers got an exceptional defense, and they can run the ball. That's a great what's the word I'm looking for? That's a great compliment to your rookie quarterback. Means he doesn't have to do much, right? Let him learn. Mac Jones took the Patriots to the playoffs his first year. Now, granted, they just squeaked in, but still, it happened. So, I don't know what Mike Tomlin is waiting. Mitchell Trubisky's not the answer. But just because I think Mike Tomlin, it's a little bit of a pride thing. He said Trubisky was their starter. He wants to stand on that. F all of that. You feel me? You're 1-2. You know what I'm saying? You're 1-2. So, which is last in y'all division, if I'm not mistaken. So, what the Steelers need to do something. On the flip side, the Browns, I know that loss. First off, that loss to the Jets just killed them last week. I know they was looking for some revenge, so I already knew they was going to get after it in this game. I mean, Nick Chubb rushed for 113 yards. He had a TD as well. Was averaging 4.9 yards a carry, man. Nick Chubb is such a beast. He is such a beast. But the Bears beat the Texans 23 to 20. The Texans are terrible. They're probably arguably one of the worst teams in the NFL. I'll say they probably are the worst. I mean, right now, them are the Raiders. But I would take the Raiders over the Texans because the Texans are terrible. They're trash. They are trash. Bears, they get a win. They're 2-1. The Bears are 2-1. Justin Fields, let me look at Justin Fields' numbers. Only threw for 106 yards, no TDs and 2 picks. I mean, not good at all. 8 of 17. Woo. Justin Fields didn't have the best day, in all honesty. But Khalil Herbert, though, 20 carries, 157 yards. He had 2 TDs. I mean, he was really the highlight of that Bears offense. And again, the Texans are just terrible. So there's no need to even talk about the Texans. They're just a trash organization. The Raiders in the Tennessee game, Tennessee, they caught them a dub. You know what I'm saying? Tennessee caught their first dub of the season. The Raiders are 0-3. Now, it's crazy. Y'all seen week 1 when I did my predictions for week 1. I stupidly said that that the Raiders would make the playoffs and they would have the best offense in the NFL. I said that, like, those words came out of my mouth. And boy, are they making me look like a complete liar. And I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to football. That's what they're doing. And it's just like the Raiders are losing these close games. Last week they let the Cardinals just come back on them, like, and score 2 2-point conversions. Like, what are y'all doing in Vegas? Y'all got arguably the best receiver in the NFL on y'all team. He's supposed to have this great connection with Derek Carr. Like, y'all got Waller, arguably top 3 tight end in the game. I mean, yeah, well, Hunter Renfrow was hurt though, and he did fumble. That fumble, caused the Cardinals to win. So he's probably in the doghouse right now, or he probably feels bad. He still got Josh Jacobs. It's just like the Raiders. What's going on with the Raiders? I mean, Carr was 26 of 44 for 303, 2 TDs and a pick. Ryan Tannehill, who I don't even think should finish the season for the Titans. They should definitely put Malik Willis in, but what do I know? 19 to 27, a pick and a TD, 264 yards. Derrick Henry hasn't really yet to get going. I mean, he did decent this game, 20 carries, 85 yards. He had a TD. The Titans just, I don't even know what to say, like, what it is for the Titans. Again, if they do go to Malik Willis, it's like, I don't know. I mean, I think the only thing that's keeping the Titans, like, afloat right now, or, Vrabel has, like, in his mind, is the division. Like, they're probably thinking in their mind, like, it's probably going to take 9 games to win our division. 8 or 9, maybe. I don't see 10 or 11 games winning the AFC South, and we in the AFC South, But, so that's probably what Vrabel's thinking is like, okay, yeah, we're 1-2, but, let's, use this momentum to get back on track. And the Raiders they're 0-3. And then, if I'm not mistaken, I think let me see who the Raiders play next week. They play the Broncos. Oof. Yeah, they might be 0-4. They probably gonna be 0-4. Oof. I feel bad for the Raiders fans, man. I feel bad for y'all. It is what it is. And let's talk about the game that really messed up my damn parlay. Okay, the Chiefs and the Colts. I'm like, how? Like, what? I was like, obviously I'm watching the game on my phone and stuff. I wasn't watching this game, but I'm watching another game on my phone, and like, the ticker is coming up or whatever and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, Kansas City looks, in control of the game or whatever. You feel me? Like, I think they were up like 17-10 or 17-13, something like that. Then in the fourth quarter, you don't score no points, Kansas City, and then you let the Colts with a game-winning drop. Matt Ryan is terrible. The Colts, terrible. I mean, Jonathan Taylor really haven't done anything all season. He had 21 carries for 71 yards. He didn't even have a touchdown. Like, and y'all let them beat y'all. Come on, Kansas City. Come on now. I just know. Arguably the best team in the NFL. Y'all didn't let arguably the worst team in the NFL beat y'all. Like, they're 1-1-1. Like, oh, man, they messed up my parlay so bad, and I was upset. I mean, Patrick Mahomes was 20-35 for 262. He had a pick and an interception. Obviously not the best day for my homeboy. Not the best day at all. But, I mean, listen, I expect more from the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs will right the ship, though. I mean, they play the Bucks next week, and the Bucks just lost, so they ain't feeling like themselves like the unbeatable Bucks anymore. So, but I think the Chiefs gonna get right. They better because they was a lot of people's pick to win the AFC. I mean, Denver, Buffalo. So, but yeah, come on, Kansas City, you can't lose to the Colts. The Colts that we smashed, we beat 28-0. You feel me? 20 or 24. Was it 24-0? One of them we smashed the Colts. Now, this was probably the best game of the day for me. Honestly, Bills-Dolphins. This division matchup, now I ain't gonna lie, I thought this was gonna be a high-scoring game. I'm thinking like 31-35, 38-35, something like that. Because both teams can really put up points, like, in a hurry, too. Like, not just they putting up points, like, they can put up points in a hurry. You feel me? Quick, like, rapid succession. And it was a fairly low-scoring game. I mean, the Dolphins ended up winning 21-19, but the Bills did have a chance to win on a 2-point conversion, and Josh Allen just short-armed it, man, which is, very rare from Josh. I mean, Josh can, bro, Josh Allen could probably, he could probably like knock you back a couple yards if he threw it as hard as he could, and he just short-armed it. I mean, he was 42-6. Thank God, the Bills threw the ball 63 times. Oh, my goodness. He was 42-63 for 400 yards. He had 2 TDs, no picks. Like, Josh Allen played great. Tua played a decent game as well. Tua was 13 of 18, 186 yards and a TD. Tua, after he had got hit, he hit his head on the turf pretty hard, and just got up wobbly and couldn't even really walk. Went out, obviously to get checked for a concussion, but he came back in the game. So, I don't know. I don't know. Obviously Teddy Two Gloves wasn't in there for too long. He only threw 2 passes, but great game. I mean, just great game down to the wire. I mean, the Dolphins are now 3-0. They're number 1 in the AFC right now. The only undefeated team in the AFC. Like, the Dolphins ain't playing. The Dolphins? And I didn't even have the Dolphins making the playoffs. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? I didn't have them or Baltimore making it. Now, Baltimore, I look ridiculous with that pick. And Miami, I look even more ridiculous. Like, do I even know football? Do I know football? But shouts out to the Dolphins, man. They really, bro, the Dolphins are playing. You feel me? The Dolphins ain't playing no games. And I can't wait for them when they play again. When they play in Buffalo, it's going to be crazy. That game is going to be crazy in Buffalo. But yeah, Miami takes it, man. 21-19. The Bills, they 2-1 now. Miami's still undefeated at 3-0. This Vikings Lions game, Vikings took it 28-24. Again, the Lions are not complete dog doo-doo. They're not. Like, the Lions have been super competitive since week 1. Like, the Lions are good. You feel not good, but they're much improved, put it like that. I mean, I'm not a fan of their quarterback, Jared Goff, but he is playing. I love DJ Chark. Wish he would have done what he's doing in Detroit for, Jacksonville, but it's fine. I still got your jersey, DJ Chark. You feel me? But the Lions are much improved. I mean, Kirk Cousins looked like turned back into first Cousins. You feel me? He was 24-41 for 260 and 2 TDs. He looked decent. He looked decent. My boy Justin Jefferson, though, I am a little upset. Only 3 receptions for 14 yards. I don't know, Jet. Listen, I need my fantasy teams needs a little bit more. And I know y'all won the game, and I know you don't care, but please, I need something, Jet. Please, I need something. You're my favorite receiver in the league, so I am a little biased. But Jared Goff on the flip side was 25 of 41, 277 a TD and a pick. Just regular game for Jared Goff. But Jamal Williams, man, 20 carries, 87 yards, 2 TDs. He was dealing. He was willing and dealing. He was willing and dealing in that game, man. Shouts out to the Lions. Again, much improved, but they did take an L in this one. Division game, so you know how those go. But the Vikings take it 28-24. Ravens played the Patriots, and I just got to say, man, Lamar Jackson, I don't know what the Ravens is doing. Again, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know what the protocol is, or I would have to look it up in the CBA about players receiving contracts mid-season, but it's like every week that money is just going up and up, bro. The Ravens, my thing was like, okay, I understand the Ravens' hesitancy or whatever, but you couldn't guarantee the man full 200. I mean, that's like the lowest. Even if you say, look, Lamar, Deshaun Watson's joint was an outlier, right? We got 200 for you. We got 215. I think he would have took it fully guaranteed. But I think the Ravens were looking at like a Kyler thing, like 180 fully guaranteed, 185 fully guaranteed, and Lamar was like, nah, bro. Nah, fam, you got me messed up. Now I want over Deshaun Watson, which he deserves. He got an MVP. You feel me? Like, listen, once Lamar got that MVP unanimously, you already knew the price tag was going to go up. Exponentially. So I don't know what they doing in Baltimore, but they better get the ball rolling. Like, I don't know who they got to talk to, or if you can't make an offer mid-season, but just go ahead and do it. Because if Lamar Jackson finished this season healthy it's probably gonna cost you 280, 300 million, fully guaranteed to sign that man. Woo! That is crazy. But the Ravens, they beat the Patriots 37-26. I mean, again, Lamar playing like he won another MVP. And then if Lamar wins MVP, oh man. Hey, listen, the Ravens, I don't know what y'all doing, but he was 18-29, 218 yards, 4 TDs. He had a pick as well. But just Lamar looking like Lamar, and he had a rushing TD. Bro, Lamar has been putting up like 40 points every week in fantasy. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous how well Lamar Jackson is playing, and I love it. I love it because the Ravens, they should have gave him his bread. You feel me? I mean, they should have gave him his bread. Mac Jones looked awful. He looked completely awful. He's 22 of 32, 321 yards. He had no TDs and 3 picks. Just looked awful. Terrible game for Mac Jones. He did end up getting hurt in this game. They're calling it a high ankle sprain. So he'll probably have to miss a couple weeks. I know I've been seeing a lot of things, nothing confirmed, but I know a lot of people were speculating maybe the Patriots try to go out and sign Cam Newton again. I don't know. I always kind of feel like once Bill Belichick kind of wash his hands with you, you're kind of done in that organization. So that's my thinking. But who knows? Maybe they could. Maybe they could bring in Cam Newton. We don't know. But New England, woof. Yeah, good thing I ain't make them to make the playoffs, because it's not looking good for them Patriots right now. You feel me? Not looking good for them Patriots. Next, we got the Bengals and the Jets. No need to even really talk about this game. The Jets are terrible. The Bengals finally get their first win of the season. The Jets are just ass. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about that. The Jets are complete ass. There's no need to even, Joe Burrow is that dude. Again, they're playing the Jets, so I can't really be, Joe Flacco, 2 picks, 285, 28 of 52. Like, y'all threw the ball 58 times, the Jets. Wow, that's crazy. That is ridiculous. But Joe Burrow, 23 of 36, 275, 3 TDs. Joe Shiesty had a nice low game, man. Joe Shiesty had a nice low game, so no need to even talk about that. Jets are ass. Bengals 27-12. They beat the Jets. Now the team that's really the only undefeated team in the NFC, right? The only undefeated team in the NFC, the Philadelphia Eagles. Woo! Philadelphia Eagles. Listen, they beat up on the Washington Commanders, 24-8. But Jalen Hurts, man, Jalen Hurts looking like that dude. He is looking like that dude. He's 22 of 35 for 3 TDs, no picks. Woo! Jalen Hurts was wheeling and dealing. And Devontae Smith. Bro, Devontae Smith had 8 for $169 and a TD. Bro, and get this, right? In one of my leagues, I had Cortland Sutton and I had Devontae Smith. And I'm like, I wonder, I was like, the Broncos, they playing the 49ers. They probably going to have to throw the ball because the 49ers got a nice little defense. I don't think they're going to really going to run the ball. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put Sutton in my flex, put Devontae on the bench because I'm like, oh, the Eagles about to run all over the Commanders. They ain't throwing the ball. Devontae Smith had like 34 points, man, on my bench. Just chilling on my bench. Oh, man. I was upset. Could have won me a couple leagues. Carson Wentz looked like Carson Wentz ass pretty much. Like I can't stand Carson Wentz, man. He's terrible. And the thing that really gets me about Carson Wentz, like we have a bad quarterback, like okay, he's a bad this is a bad quarterback, right? But like there be times when like again against us week 1, like there are times when like Carson Wentz looks like the second coming of Peyton Manning or Joe Montana or a young Ben. Like he looks like a Hall of Fame quarterback. Like and you're like, you know what? Okay, I can ride with Carson Wentz one more week. And that's where you fall into trouble, because then the next week he's gonna look like complete ass. All right, just terrible. Carson Wentz is trash. All right, Carson Wentz is trash. 211 yards, 25 of 43, no picks, no TDs. Typical Carson Wentz fashion. Typical Carson Wentz fashion. Just ass. Just terrible. Again, I know it was a division game, but still, Carson Wentz is ass. Okay, he's terrible. And the Eagles really look like the Eagles fly, man. And Jalen Hurts, I mean, he said, look, I almost won a Heisman. You feel me? I almost won a Heisman. Now I'm going to win an MVP. I'm going to show y'all. You feel me? So he definitely is, the Eagles, man. The Eagles look good. Eagles and the Dolphins, only two undefeated teams left in the NFL, man. Saints Panthers, this game would just really upset me. This is another one that messed up my parlay because I had the Saints. You know what I'm saying? -3.5, I think. If I'm not mistaken, I had the Saints -3.5. But just, you let the Panthers beat y'all? Like, for real. Y'all let the Panthers beat y'all? Y'all let the Panthers beat y'all? Come on now. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, Saints. Jameis Winston, 25 of 41, 353. Two picks and a TD. I'm not a believer in Jameis Winston, but that's just me personally. Sorry, Saints fans, I'm not a believer. In Jameis Winston, but the Saints got a nice team. You know what I'm saying? It looked like Alvin Kamara only had 15 carries. You might have to bump that up to 20, 25 carries. For real, New Orleans, because Jameis Winston I really love Chris Olave too. Oh, Chris Olave, 9 receptions, 147 yards. He didn't have a TD though, but I love Chris Olave. I don't know why. I just like him, as a receiver. Baker Mayfield just 12 of 25 for 170 yards and a TD. No picks though, but Baker Mayfield is just like, it's Baker Mayfield. I mean, he's an average quarterback in my opinion. He really is. Chris C-Mac, went over 100 yards this week. 25 carries, 100 yards. No TDs for C-Mac. I know y'all fantasy owners was a little upset with that one, but yeah, Saints, they lose to the Panthers 22-14. This division matchup, just come on, New Orleans. Y'all gotta do better than that. Y'all gotta do better than that. Rams Cardinals, pretty decent game. Rams, they pretty much, what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, they was kind of running the ball with this Cooper Rush. I said it's Cooper Rush. Excuse me, Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp had a rushing TD, no receiving TDs for Cooper Kupp. But Cooper Kupp had his first career rushing TD, which was cool. It was a nice little jet sweep that he took he hit the outside and hit his head on the goalpost. Cam Akers, there was a Cam Akers sighting, finally, for y'all fantasy people. 12 carries, 61 yards, and a TD. So, look, Cam Akers showed up for you guys. Matt Stafford, pretty pedestrian day. 18 of 25 for 249. No picks, no TDs. Kyler Murray was 37 of 58. God, they threw the ball 58 times? 58? That's crazy. 314 yards, a pick, and a TD for Kyler Murray. They threw the ball 58 times? Oh, my goodness. Listen, the Cardinals, 314 yards for Kyler Murray, 37 of 58. The Cardinals really couldn't get no type of offense going. I mean, no touchdowns at all. Got 4 field goals. Just like, Arizona. I mean, they look like world beaters against the Raiders, but now I'm looking at it as a terrible win because the Raiders are terrible. Like, they're ass. Rams, I mean, great division win for them. I mean, this division is still tough, It's probably not the hardest division in football anymore, but it's still a tough division. I mean, Seattle is scrappy. The Rams, defending Super Bowl champions, the 49ers are the 49ers, and the Cardinals, they're not complete dog water, but they're itching closer. Falcons versus the Seahawks, just terrible team versus terrible team. But what I will say is Cordell Patterson, man, listen, that boy, he be running. He really be running the rock. He had 17 carries for 141 yards and a TD. The Falcons ended up taking this one 27-23. Just the first win for the Falcons. That's the only other fan base that like I feel for more than me is the Falcons. Anytime somebody tell me they're a Falcons fan, I always say I'm sorry for your loss. That's what I say to them every time. But Marcus Mariota was 13-20 for 229 yards, a pick and a TD. Mariota also had a rushing TD as well. Geno Smith on the flip side, on Seattle's side, was 32-44, 2 TDs and a pick. I mean, Geno Smith, they really letting Geno Smith play, man. Shouts out to Pete Carroll. Geno is looking okay, like an average quarterback. That's what he's looking like, my opinion, But Seattle took this one 27-23. Not really much to talk about. They're two terrible teams. Just two terrible squads. But then we head to the Bucks Packers game. I think this was America's game of the week, and boy, this did not go the way that I thought this was gonna go. I definitely thought both teams were gonna score in the 20s just because they have that type of offense. But it's very, Aaron Rodgers 27-35, 255, 2 TDs, and he had a pick. Which is rare for Aaron Rodgers. It's rare that you see Aaron Rodgers throw a pick. But okay game for Rodgers, not like the Aaron Rodgers standard game, but decent day for Rodgers. Tom Brady, though, 31-42, 271, had a TD and an interception. I mean, there was no Mike Evans for this game, obviously because of the little scrap between him and Marcus Lattimore last week, so he was suspended for the game. So, Tom Brady was really throwing to Russell Gage, honestly. Russell Gage had 12 receptions for 87 yards. He had a TD as well. He had their only touchdown, actually. He was throwing to Cameron Brate, Brashard Perryman, Leonard Fournette, Jalen Durden, Kyle Rudolph, Cole Beasley, and Scotty Miller. And they just signed Cole Beasley on the practice squad this week, and he was playing. That's crazy. So, I understand it. I understand it. You feel me? I understand, what Tom Brady really ain't have nobody to throw to. And Leonard Fournette really didn't help on the ground. 12 carries, 35 yards, no TDs. Is what it is. But, finally Aaron Rodgers, he got him a little feather in the cap. It is just a regular season game, but the last time that these two met, especially in the playoffs, it wasn't good for A-Rod. You feel me? So I know this one, it's good to get a win, but who we beat, I know it makes it a little bit more sweeter. I know he probably had him a little glass of whiskey on a plane ride back, just to celebrate, something like that. So definitely, Packers definitely took this one. Again, just a hard fought game, very defensive game. The Bucks defense is scary good. They're looking like that back half of the 2020 season when they won the Super Bowl. They're looking like that defense. They're really clicking on all cylinders. And I think their defense is really what's going to keep them in a lot of these games, because Brady really hasn't looked like Brady. You know what I'm saying? He's only averaging, 200-something yards a game? Just oof. It is what it is. He don't look bad, but it's just Brady just ain't playing like how I'm used to seeing Brady play. And then the Broncos with this little squeak by win against the San Francisco 49ers. The Broncos just... Russell Wilson was 20-33, 184 yards, no picks, no TDs. I'm going to just be completely honest with you guys and just say that, to me, since Russell Wilson has stepped foot in Denver, since we won, he has not looked like the Russell Wilson that I'm used to seeing. I'm just seeing, you know, a little bit of, not scared, but a little timid, as if like he doesn't want to make a mistake type stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, Russell, they brought you here, they traded for you, gave up assets for you, and paid you $200 million. Like, this how you repaying them? Come on now. And obviously Jimmy G was starting on San Fran's side because of the Trey Lance injury. Trey Lance had season-ending ankle surgery last week after he broke his ankle against the Seahawks. So, I mean, Jimmy G was in there 18 to 29 for 211, a pick and a TD. I mean, typical Jimmy G game. Like, and obviously, Jimmy G also stepped in the back of the end zone. I think he's probably the first quarterback to do that since Dan Orlovsky. But his wasn't as bad as Orlovsky. I mean, his like, I would say like half of his toe was on the white line. Like, he just backed up just a little too far. Dan Orlovsky was running a whole thing in the back of the end zone. Like, that's crazy. That's ridiculous. But the Broncos took this one 11 to 10, a little sneaky victory for the Broncos. I mean, the Broncos are second in that division right now, behind obviously the Kansas City Chiefs. But yeah, I know San Fran would have definitely loved to have this one back. You know what I'm saying? Game just just got away from him. Then last night's game, God, I don't even want to talk about it because I put some bread on this, man. The Giants losing to the Cowboys 16 to 23. Just, bro, Cooper Rush, like, all right, as much as I hate the Dallas Cowboys, and I don't even want to speak positively about them, Cooper Rush he looks like he's managing the game. Like, he's doing okay. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, he's not spectacular. He's not better than Dak. He's not going to, make Brady-like, Rodgers-like throws. He just solid, just okay. He's just okay. And to tell you the truth, the defense that the Cowboys have, that can work. That just okay might just keep that Cooper Rush might just okay play might keep the Dallas Cowboys afloat if that defense continue playing like that defense. Micah Parsons is scary. Like, all jokes aside, like, I'm not even trying to be funny. Micah Parsons is scary. That man is scary. Now, he didn't have any sacks, but listen, the pressures that they were getting, Daniel Jones, literally, as soon as the ball was snapped, it was like the Lions in the 90s. It was already 3-4 guys in the backfield. Daniel Jones was running for his life. Let me see how many sacks the Dallas Cowboys got. They had 5 sacks. 5 sacks yesterday. Daniel Jones couldn't eat, man. It as soon as he hiked the ball, it was, listen, New York Giants O-line, complete dog water. Y'all are terrible. Daniel Jones couldn't even do anything yesterday. Nothing. Oh, my goodness. I couldn't believe it. But, yeah, man, Cooper Rush, 21 to 31, 215, a pick, no TDs. A TD, no picks. Cooper Rush, 21 to 31, 215 yards, a TD, no picks. Like I said, decent, solid. Like, Cooper Rush, okay, just okay. I can't even deny it. But Daniel Jones on the flip side, like, 20 at 37, 196 yards, no TDs and a pick. Like, Daniel Jones he's trash to me. But his legs really and truly, he had 9 rushes for 79 yards. Can't tell you, at least rushed for about 3-4 first downs, like, himself. Like, but again, the O-line, like, every day in practice, the Giants need to work on their offensive line because it's terrible. You feel me? Like, I can't even fathom, like, how bad the offensive line. You seen the game. You watched the game last night. Like, Daniel Jones there's literally 3 dudes in his face, you know what I'm saying, pause. You feel me? Before he could even look in, and make any type of progressions. You feel me? And it just sucks. You feel me? It really and truly just sucks. And then yesterday, bad news for the Giants. I mean, Sterling Shepard looked like he hurt his knee on a non-contact, play. He was just kind of running up the field, and fell to the ground immediately, held his knee. We usually know what that means. Probably a season-ending injury for Sterling Shepard. Look, it is what it is. You feel me? Like, it sucks. Injuries are a part of the game, but I know the Giants would definitely love to have him back. I mean, he was their leading receiver. He had 5 receptions, 49 yards. So, I mean, they're definitely gonna miss Sterling Shepard, but it is what it is. Maybe Kenny Galladay can step up for something. But yeah, again, Giants lose 16-23. I'm upset because I lost some money on this game. It is what it is, but I can't even. I hate the Dallas Cowboys. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I know we're supposed to be unbiased on these type of things, but it is what it is. So just a look to next week real quick. We're going to go over. So Dolphins and Bengals kick off Thursday Night Football. I think that's going to be a really good one. Let me see where they're playing. Oh, they're playing it in Cincinnati. So Dolphins about to take that trip up there. Short week for them. Again, definitely got to monitor the Tua concussion situation because Tua just looked bad. Like, he fell straight back down to the ground. Like, one of those type of things. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. But, got the Dolphins in that one. Jags, Eagles. Playing the only undefeated team in the NFC. In the NFC. We going to Philly to go play them. I wish I could pull up to that game, man. Y'all lucky I can't pull up to that game. I got class that next day. But y'all lucky. But, man, all right. Got the Jags, Eagles. I'm taking the Jags. You know what I'm saying? Funny. Vikings, Saints. I'm going to go with the Vikes on that one. I'm going to go with the Vikes beating the Saints. I just think, the Vikings, they trying to keep up with Green Bay right now. And, they need these wins. And the Saints coming off that loss, man, to Carolina, I think, it just did them in bad. But I got the Vikes taking that one. Browns, Falcons. Of course, I'm going with the Browns. The Falcons are terrible. Cowboys, Commanders. Never do I ever want to root for Carson Wentz except when they play the Cowboys. I got the Commanders in that one. I hope the Cowboys lose every game. I'm just playing. Seahawks, Lions. I'm going to go with the Lions in that one. You know what I'm saying? Lions much improved. So I'm going to go with the Lions. Titans, Colts, division matchup. I'm going to go with the Titans, man. They both teams got their first win of the season last week. So I'm going to go with the Titans on that one. Next, got Bears, Giants. They are playing in MetLife. Giants are better than people think. But again, the Giants O-line just terrible. But the Bears, not much to. That's a pick 'em. I'm gonna go with the Giants on that one. Jets, Steelers. Got the Steelers. The Jets are terrible. Bills, Ravens. Now this gonna be a crazy game. I like this game. Where they playing at? They playing in Baltimore. Oof. Bills losing 2 in a row. I don't know. Josh Allen. But Lamar playing crazy. When does Tre'Davious White come back for the Bills? I gotta find that out. I gotta see when Tre'Davious White come back. You feel me? But I'm gonna go with the Ravens in that one, man. Lamar just playing MVP level. I love the Bills, but Lamar is just doing it right now. Chargers, Texans. Got the Chargers. Texans are terrible. Cardinals, Panthers. I'm gonna go with the Cards just because, again, don't believe in Baker Mayfield. Panthers terrible. I love C-Mac, but don't believe in Baker Mayfield. Packers, Patriots. Playing at Lambeau. I'm going with the Packers. Patriots. I don't even know who their quarterback is gonna be, so I can't even pick them. Broncos, Raiders. Where they playing at? They playing Raiders. I'm going with the Broncos. Raiders are terrible. They're probably gonna be the worst team in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going with the Broncos. Chiefs, Bucks. It's gonna be a good game too. That's Sunday Night Football. They play in Tampa. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs, man. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I don't think, Tom. Like I said, Tom ain't been looking like Tom. But they do got Mike Evans coming back, so we'll see. I don't know if Julio's gonna play. It's just so much that wide receiver core is just taking such a huge blow. In all honesty, and then Chris Godwin still not being there is just so we'll see. But I got the Chiefs in that one. Probably a close game, but I got the Chiefs. And then Rams 49ers Monday Night Football. I'm going to go with the Niners. Okay, the Niners always play the Rams really good. They always play the Rams really good. And I just think, I just think the Niners, they try to, right the ship. They try to get to 500, 2-2. The Rams will be 500 as well, 2-2 anyway with the loss. But I'm gonna go with the Niners on Monday Night Football. So those are the picks for next week, man. You know what I'm saying? So that is it. Again, I just want to say thank you so much, man, for rocking with me again on Sports Vibes Podcast, where you know the vibes, and make sure you following Sports Vibes on Instagram, Sports Vibes Podcast, Twitter, Sports Vibes Pod, YouTube, Sports Vibes Podcast, man. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. You know what it is, and I know y'all don't worry. Listen, it's coming. Guests and stuff like that. I got some people on the schedule where I'm just trying to schedule and stuff. I know y'all get tired of just me. You feel me? I know y'all get tired of that. You know what I'm saying? Just annoying just seeing this beautiful face. But it is what it is, man. But again, thank y'all so much, for rocking with me. And until next week, man, peace. We're off this thing. You feel me?